with me, please. It's my pleasure to be here with you, near you.
It's my pleasure to be next to you.
How do you feel now while walking in Pristina?
I have a lot of friends here in Pristina, and over the years, Albanian communities stuck by me, and the same way I want to stick by Pristina and the Albanian community. So the feeling is spectacular, elated, really.
We want to hear speaking Albanian.
Okay, that's
Any words? Follow me and did it. Shum respect. I can say a million words. I can't put sentences together. Jashta përposh, ujt. Proud to be Albanian. Yeah.
Give me 15 years.
Right, of course not.
They figure when I come out, I'm just gonna do the same thing.
Right, you're young, exactly.
Right.
It's very interesting that with this COVID-19 ordeal, that they actually let Vinny Asaro out of prison because of COVID-19. It's like that guy has good luck, you know? That guy must have some good luck, you know?
Hey, what the fuck? Well, he doesn't have it in gambling, that's for sure.
Good
The
point.
only thing he said about Jerry Sarah was, I hope you don't go bad. That's what he said.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So this is what I'm talking about, man. So it's like a joke.
What is their status? What are they? Is Ronnie in prison?
Yeah, Ronnie's got 14 years. Jerry's on his way out. Vinny comes home, I think, about 2-3 years. But like I said, Vinny's older. Ronnie, he'll come home again and probably just go right back in again. You know what I'm saying? It's like he can't help himself. He'll go build another $3 million house on the corner with no job. You know?
Right, exactly. Right. Give the feds a reason to lock him back up. Right?
I remember when he was in jail, I bought a 750i brand new, right? He's flipping out. You gotta be low key, you're too flashy. I'm like, all right, Ronnie, I'm sorry. He comes home, builds a $3 million house on the corner with no job. I said, that doesn't make any sense.
So what's your plan? Like, what do you think you're gonna do?
Well, right now, I'm really involved right now heavily with Johnny, trying to get these speeches going. Help Second Chance and other shows and stuff like that.
Right.
And we're live. Gene,
yes.
thank you so much for coming on today.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
So, there's one thing that I forgot to tell you before, but I'm gonna put you on the spot right now. What I like to ask my guests before we get started into everything is if there's maybe a little bit of a little story about you, a little something that the world doesn't really know about you, from some of the articles that are out there, some of the videos on YouTube that might be out there of you. If there's a little thing you can think of, maybe that people don't know about you. I'm putting you on the spot.
You are. I mean, I love sports.
Okay.
I mean,
Did you play any growing up?
yeah, baseball my whole life.
All that?
Football, yeah, basketball. I was a big sports guy. I love handball. Love working out, exercising, everything,
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So, for people that aren't very familiar with your story, there's a lot to get into.
Right.
Will you give a brief background about what it is that exactly you did, your role within mafia crime world, and then we'll go from chronologically from the beginning of your life after you give us a little background on who you are.
Right. So basically, you grew up in a mafia neighborhood. A lot of guys are, like everyone says, instead of going into even though I played sports, you don't want to be an athlete when you're in those areas. You want to be like the mob guys. You know what I'm saying? So I got influenced by guys coming up that were in the crime world, and I got grabbed at a young age, and it's like baby steps. You start off with something small, and then they keep seeing what you're capable of. And for me, I just kept on going and going and going. And then before you know it, I was doing collections, assaults, shootings, robberies, and then it just kept, escalating to being a full-time mob guy.
Was my sign to go. And so now where do I go? I had to Google it. I went to the wrong building in Manhattan. It was just crazy. I went and actually it was like a terrorist task force.
Yeah.
And of course they contacted the right people.
Yeah, I got
That's
you.
how it took place. In all honesty.
Interesting.
People believe it, they don't believe it. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm telling you that's the way it happened.
No, I believe it. It's got the ring of truth to it. I'll tell you right now.
So Gary, when I walk into them, unlike the 99.9 cooperators or informants, I have no. The agents basically said you were like manna from heaven. I fell in
Yeah,
love.
you
Because
were.
they were shocked that I was there because I wasn't out on bail. I had no cases. I had no indictments. I had no secret indictment. I wasn't under investigation. Nothing. And that's usually, as you know, you're ex-law enforcement. Why do people cooperate? They cooperate because they want to get out of a prison sentence.
Yeah,
They
if
get
you
out
got
of
something
it.
on them, that's the only reason I've ever seen.
So it's, I guess the agents, I'm unique in that sense. I think myself and Al Diaco are the only people in that life that ever came in with nothing against them and nothing over their head.
Interesting. No, it's we're on up here. We're about 45.
I know you're involved with sports books and stuff like that. We talk about all of those different kinds of activities and what you're partaking in yourself. Are you betting on sports? Is there also, I know there's a lot of other guys who, there's a lot of sports, match fixing, all that kind of stuff that's going on during the time?
Well, you gotta remember, we're in the 80s. We're all young. Bobby Ches is one of my best friends. He visited me in old prison. He was a 3-time champ boxer. And, you got guys like him that are staying with me. You got Joe Klecko from the New York Jets at the time, Gastineau Jets. You got the New York Mets all staying. We're all staying at Channel 80. We're pulling up with boats, cigarette boats. We're all making money. They're young kids. We're young. And we're all having a good time. We're drinking champagne, dancing, doing drugs. And, I grew up in a gambling family. My uncle was Blackie's partner in a 3-card Monte game in the Bronx, making millions. He used to joke about he was making more money than Reggie Jackson back then. So you understand the quality of money we're making, the type of money. And my whole family's bookmakers, gamblers, but I wasn't a gambler. I was a bookmaker. And just recently I opened up a consulting firm called Sports.com.
I saw that online.
And and the reason, because I became an expert in the gambling business over the years. I made millions in it over the years. I was running books all over for 30 years. And I decided to open this consulting firm with my partner Peter, and he's from Colorado. And we have guys that analyze the game. We have all the software. We have about 25, 30 guys that put this information together. And so I'm on the other side of not really penitentiaries in the world in Brazil. In those penitentiaries, I witnessed guys, and so you understand, it's not the United States jails. It's a lot different. I witnessed guys with their heads being chopped off. 11 individuals specifically, their heads were chopped off, and they were left in the institute for about a little more than 2 days. So I've seen things that you kids and people should never see. And I witnessed and been involved in things that, after doing what I've done, you don't sleep well. I have a very good friend of mine, and I didn't mention him, and I need to mention him. His name is Frankie. His brother was Bruce, got her up. And almost what I'm saying about Phil, Frankie became my friend. Frankie is a guy who me and my friends murdered his brother. So you understand that. We took his brother's life, but yet he became my friend. He gave me a second chance at life. And the reason he gave me a second chance at life, is anybody curious why he gave me a second chance at life? He gave me a second chance at life because he wants me to give you guys a first chance at life.
Wanted to say hello. Today's my day off. I wanted to let you know that I appreciate everyone following me. I'm gonna be coming out with some content a little at a time. I'm putting a podcast together. I'm actually creating a studio. I'm gonna be putting a volume out soon. And I'm working on some things. I also wanted to talk about reform, how people reform their lives. And, I started out as a career criminal as a kid. Growing up, I was in a broken home. My mom and dad separated when I was about 7 years old. At that time, my father went to Manhattan. My mother stayed in Brooklyn. once I knew I was a greater force than my mother, who's gonna stop me? I looked up to the older guys, started hanging out with them, and started committing crimes at a young age. You know, some of those older guys were very good guys, where they try to put me in the right direction, you know, go to school, do this, and then I would tell them, I said, go to school. I said, you didn't go to school, why should I go to school? You know, and then you had the bad guys that I looked up to, a guy like Tommy Karate, Georgie Conti, Mikey Mariconda, you know, a couple other guys that were really no-nonsense guys, and actually turned us on to drugs at a young age. And some of my friends, you know, did become drug addicts, and you know, they made us commit crimes, whether it was throwing rocks through windows to shake down the store, burning a car, doing a burglary, and this is how we got into this life of crime.